Welcome to Spazzed Space. This is usually where by now you'd hear my wife making some weird
Oh,
sound.
shut up.
Right on cue. Today is kind of different. Today we're going to be talking about the space where it is right now. I have, in addition to my wife, who is as usual behind the camera, which is why you heard the
Hello.
laugh. Yeah, my son is also here. My 14-year-old son. Haven't spoken about him much, but he's here. Right now he's controlling the record on the camera.
Whoopity.
There you go. So, of course, again, if you watch the video, you know I don't have credits at the end. So the room started out as a helper's quarters. It's on the lower level of my house. As a result, access is pretty good in terms of persons not having to come through the house. The earlier videos spoke about, how the room looked, stuff that we had to demo, we had to get rid of a closet. We actually did a lot of construction. During this process, I learned a lot.
Like, what did you learn? I think the people want to know.
Fine. During this process, I learned a lot more about construction than I did before. I learned about the fact that, again, Jamaican workmen don't necessarily make square rooms. And by square, I mean construction square, not literally square. And that became most evident with the wall that's like right behind me when I was mounting it, which is one end of it ended up being, I don't want to tell a lie, it was about 8 feet 2 inches tall, whereas the other end ended up being like 7 feet 9 inches. So picture, yeah, like something like that. And that was, a trial in of itself. I also did the electricals in this room, so I had to mess around with that. Uh, added to the electricals. So we had, initially there was one light fixture. We now have 4 LED pot lights, if you want to call them that. Had to put in an additional electrical outlet at the back of the room, so in case I have visitors or other persons in here, they can plug in a charger, they can have access to electricity. I had to move the light switch, which you saw. Things that are left to be done in this room: the entry door, I need to actually put that up. Right now, there's just a door frame where that should be. The panels have been ordered. They were ordered,
3 weeks ago.
yeah, about 3 weeks ago, somewhere around there. So it's probably,
And what are the panels for those of us who
the panels are the acoustic material that goes on the wall to assist with some of the absorption in the room. Right now, I actually have a mattress that's acting as my absorption material right now until the panels get here, where at which point I plan to put base straps in the front corners and have
the base strap and the panel is the same thing.
Similar enough.
The base strap will be made from the panels.
The base strap is made from the same material. I've just planned to double it. Okay. So in the front corners, I'd have 4-inch thick panels that would go across the corners, acting as my base straps. Whereas on the back half of the room, because I plan to do some recordings, overdubs, dialogues, whether it be for animation or film, as well as I'm really, really looking forward to doing some Foley stuff in here. And for those who are not sure what Foley is what we like to say is the addition of sound after a video shoot. So, for example, if someone does a movie and that movie has someone walking down a hollow passage, or like we call a corridor, that echoing footsteps, those are actually added after the fact. And so that's kind of what I want to do in this room.
What's overdub?
Overdubs is where you literally like you re-record something. So for example, even in the same case of the film, maybe they realized that there was a sound, like, earlier when we were shooting before and that red car or plane was passing. Yeah, something like that would happen. So you then have to re-record that audio because he couldn't use it because the car, which you probably have a film about horse and carriage days, and there's a car driving by, so you have to re-record that dialogue, and so those would be overdubs. So you record them after the fact and then stick them back in.
That's different than overdub and Foley. Sorry.
Foley is specific to sound effects.
Oh, okay.
So whereas overdubs is the audio, as in vocals, dialogue, that sort of thing.
Oh, so it's a similar process.
It's a similar process,
okay.
but different. As in what you're capturing is different.
Okay.
So the Foley, as we said, would be to be able to replace sound effects. So like the footsteps, as we said in the passage, because at the video shoot, the actual shoot, you probably wouldn't have had footsteps, meaning the camera wouldn't have picked those up. But by adding it now, you can change the feel and the what happens or how you feel about that particular scene.
Okay, so that I'm clear, Foley is like, as you say, let's say in the horror movie when you see somebody on the door and it creaks.
Yeah, that's Foley. So we literally, or like somebody, like sometimes you see people like crack their knuckles in movies, and it sounds like the person is doing it right in front of the mic.
Okay.
That's Foley, because what they do is probably just create some sound effect of that knuckle and then overlay it.
Okay.
So that's what Foley is. So, part of what I want to do in the room has also guided how I design the room.
Mm-hmm.
So the front of the room, where I'm planning to have bass traps straddling the corners on the front of the room, I will not be able to straddle the corners at the back, because out at the back of the room I plan to actually have the ability to record, and I don't want to use up space.
To record what?
All of what I'm doing, the dialogue, the stuff.
All right.
So as a result, I need the space in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the front is behind the desk. So if I cut off the corners with bass traps, it's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm. But the back, I actually need the real estate. So what I plan to do is have the panels meet in the corner. So instead of forming a triangle with the bass traps at the back, they literally go on the wall. So they go into a 90 corner, which still leaves me a ton of space in the room rather than me losing space.
Okay.
All right. So room is actually, there are two colors in the room. There's the burgundy that you see behind me, and the front and back walls, and yes, I'm pointing intentionally. The front and the back walls and the ceiling share antique white. Front and back walls, they're still concrete. The original colors on them, they were actually, it was antique white on the walls. So when I did the ceiling, I just threw that in so that, I joined the two walls together. Using the colors. And then the side walls, so left and right walls, are the burgundy ones. The burgundy plus was chosen because it's a color I really like, as well as it has sentimental value. In terms of, like I said, what's left to be done in the space, there's the paneling, the bass traps. There's a cloud that's going on the ceiling. There is the door to be hung. There is a curtain that's going to be hung. Again, if you go back to, was it video 1, where I mentioned that there's a bathroom at the back of the room. There is still a functional bathroom. I cannot do anything about that. There is a concrete wall. Too much construction. That's probably way outside the budget that the financial controller will allow.
I'm financial controller now.
So it is what it is. But what I've decided to do is take it and use it to my advantage. So what I've decided to do is to put an acoustic curtain, which for all intents and purposes is just a really thick drape, like almost like theater drape, and put it over the opening. And what it will do is allow the sound to still go through, get into the bathroom, and gives the effect that the room is actually longer than it is. Hence, some of the bass can be controlled that way. So it kind of acts as a pseudo bass trap for me. Also, it ties in because we actually bought the material, and the material is almost a perfect match to the burgundy plus. This was burgundy.
I know, I keep saying, right? I keep saying. And
So when that goes on the back wall, what you're gonna get is that space being tied together. So you get the juxtaposition of the maroon burgundy and the antique.
So
All right, so I think I babbled that long enough. Now I'm gonna show you a 360 of the room. All right, so here's a 360 starting on the what's this? The right wall of the room.
depends on if you're facing the room.
As I pan around, here's the mattress I spoke about. Excellent, excellent absorption taking place right there. Coming around to the left side of the room. Ooh, camera stutter there. Hush, hush, hush. Yeah.
Really?
That's the 14-year-old. That's the 14-year-old. I don't know what that was. I really don't know. I don't know if that was a nene or something. Yeah, so this is like one of the front corners. As you can see, it's right now just has a bunch of junk in there. Haven't really cleaned out the room yet. I need to do that before the financial controller, aka wife, gets on me again.
Yes.
But yeah. By the way, I think that's her if you look carefully. This is the front of the room actually. This is as it is now, and that's my hand in the shot. Right. That's the desk. As you can see, there's a controller, monitors, a video monitor.
What's the monitor? The monitor is the screen or the
no.
The
All right. These speakers, one. This is actually a subwoofer that I haven't connected yet because I haven't figured out how to do it. But hopefully at some point it will be added to the room to help me with some of the bass stuff. The other speakers over there, we refer to speakers as monitors. Then there's obviously what most people call a monitor, which is actually their screen. And as we go around, that's the other front corner. That's my chair as it is right now. Hopefully at some point I'll sort out the chair or something. But yeah, and then we're back to our right wall. There you go, 360.